Iran boosts up oil exports as China pulls back on Russian oil. I'm Anjana and let's know why. Demand from independent refiners weakened after COVID-19 lockdowns slashed fuel margins, and on increased imports of lower-cost Russian oil, China's Iranian oil imports in April fell short of peak levels predicted in late 2021 and early 2022. The reduction of Iranian oil purchases, which account for about 7% of the world's crude imports, comes as Western negotiators have given up hope of renewing a 2015 nuclear deal, while high oil prices have encouraged Iran to take its time returning to an agreement. A revived nuclear deal would allow Iran to boost oil shipments to prior clients in South Korea and Europe, in addition to China, which has been Iran's top customer for the past 2 years. Meanwhile, Russian crude displaced by failing demand in Europe on growing concerns about sanctions over Russia's invasion of Ukraine is heading to China. Russia sent tens of thousands of troops into Ukraine on February 24th in what it called a special operation. Initial assessments by Vortexa Analytics showed China imported nearly 650,000 barrels per day of Iranian crude in April, slightly less than the nearly 7 lakh barrels per day discharged in March. Kepler, another data analytics firm, tentatively pegged Iran's April exports at 5,75,000 barrels per day, down from an average of 8,40,000 barrels per day in the first quarter of 2022, though the agency expected to revise up April volumes in coming weeks. China's independent refiners, also known as teapots and situated mostly in the eastern province of Shandong, are key Iranian oil buyers. The refiners have since February reduced crude imports, operating under half their capacity in April as soaring prices, tighter import quotas and COVID lockdowns squashed margins, traders said. The Iranian barrels started having difficulties finding buyers since February after independent plants cut through put, said Amali, China analyst with Vortexa. At least 6 cargoes of Iranian oils totaling 8 million barrels have not been able to offload at Chinese ports floating off Shandong and Zhejiang ports for more than 3 months, Lee added. In contrast, China's seaborne crude imports from Russia jumped 16% in April from March to about 860,000 barrels per day, the highest since last December. Though the April Russian supplies were dominated by its Far East export grade ESPO blend, the prospect of growing Urals cargoes being forced out of Europe is providing a new lure for the teapots. At least one teapot refiner bought one June arriving Urals cargo at a discount of $6 to $7 a barrel to Brent on delivered basis, traders said. That compared with Iranian oil transacted at $5 a barrel under Brent. Teapots are facing terrible margins and plentiful oil on offer. Dealing Iranian and Russian barrels both carries risks, so refiners would be careful and picking the cheaper supplies that offer relatively better margins, said a trading executive with a Shandong-based refiner. To avoid US sanctions, Iranian crude has been exported to China marked as oil from Oman, the United Arab Emirates and Malaysia, traders have said. Aware of the Chinese purchases, US President Joe Biden's administration has chosen not to enforce the sanctions against Chinese individuals and companies. China's foreign ministry did not respond to requests for comment. Iran's oil ministry also did not respond to a request for comment. Chinese custom data last reported imports of 260,000 tons, that is 1.9 million barrels of Iranian oil each in December and January, in its first official record in a year. This is Anjana signing off. Do like and share this video. For further updates, subscribe to Kaumudy Global.